So there's one thing that separates sleep consultants who are fully booked from those who are constantly hustling for clients. It's not followers, it's not content volume, it's not working harder, it's specificity, but not the kind you think. Not pick a niche or only work with 6-month-old babies. I'm talking about the kind of specificity that makes parents stop mid-scroll and think, this person gets exactly what I'm dealing with. And that's what I'm breaking down today. Okay, so here's what a lot of people get wrong about specificity. They think niching is about picking who. So I work with babies 4 to 6-month-olds. That's demographics. Specificity is about context. It's the difference between knowing your client's problem and understanding their life. A lot of sleep consultants miss this. They focus on the baby's age, not what the parent is actually navigating. And that's why their marketing sounds like everyone else's. And let me show you why this matters. There are over 5 billion people on social media right now. YouTube sees 1 billion hours watched daily. TikTok, 34 million new videos uploaded every single day. Information's everywhere. Sleep tips are everywhere. So parents aren't looking for more information. They're looking for someone who understands their specific situation. When you try and speak to everyone with generic messaging, you end up competing on everything except what makes you different. Price, availability, Instagram grid. But when you get specific about context, you don't sound like everyone else. You sound like someone who gets it. And let me show you what this actually looks like. So you've got 2 parents, both want better sleep for their 6-month-olds. Parent 1 has twins, 2 different sleep schedules, 2 different temperaments. Everyone keeps saying to them, just get them on the same routine. And it's not working. They're exhausted, overwhelmed. They're feeling like they're failing both their babies. Now, parent 2 is a working parent. She's got a high-powered job, multiple night wakes, can't wind down. She's broken sleep all night. And this parent wants to parent responsibly, but they're making mistakes at work and they're terrified that they're failing at both. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the information they require, it overlaps. Not all of it, but a lot of it. But the way it lands, completely differently. The twin parent isn't just dealing with sleep, they're dealing with guilt about treating 2 babies differently. Logistics, which baby do I prioritize when both are crying? And the working parent isn't just dealing with sleep either, they're dealing with the terror of making work mistakes, guilt about barely surviving, fear that they're failing their child and their career, perhaps a career that they've worked really hard to keep. So when you speak to one of those specific contexts, you're not saying, here's sleep science or here's naps. You're saying, here's sleep science for your life. And that's when parents think, this person gets my situation. It's not just the problem, it's the reality that I'm living in. And that's what makes them stop scrolling and book a call. So how do you actually figure out what your specificity should be? Here's what I've noticed. Think about all the families that you've worked with, the ones who light you up, the ones where everything just clicks. And they're usually dealing with something that you've walked through yourself. And of course, your professional training gives you that knowledge, but your lived experience gives you the understanding. And that lived experience may come from you being a parent and going through that journey, or it may come through you working with lots of clients, like doing the reps over and over again and having that deep understanding of what they're going through. And for many people, it's both. You can't fake that knowledge, that know-how. In a world where AI can generate sleep tips in seconds, that lived experience is what sets you apart. So what I want you to do is grab a notebook, look at the families that you've supported and ask yourself, what are those families specifically thank you for? What situation do you find yourself explaining to them again and again? And what challenge with their families lights you up to solve? And these answers point you to your specificity. And in Scale and Thrive, we walk you through a research process to help you uncover this, and we help you talk to real parents and understand the context deeply and find all of those patterns. But you can start that right now by just paying attention to those patterns. And if you want the full framework that helps you identify your specificity and turn that into content that attracts your ideal client, comment blueprint below, and I'm going to send that straight to you. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like in action. So Sher, one of the consultants that I work with, really good at what she did, really good, fully booked, great results. Her focus, gentle and holistic. But when we started working together, we went deep on the research side of things. We spoke to real parents there. We looked at their days, their challenges, their fears. And when you research your ideal client, really deeply, it's incredible what you unlock. You nail your marketing because you have that deep level of intel. We looked at her zone of genius, the parents that she was lit up by when working with them, and what we discovered was specific. Unsettled babies, Velcro babies, FOMO babies, the ones that you couldn't put down. And Sher shifted her content, started speaking directly to those parents, their challenges, their goals, what their days look like. And guess who she attracted? Parents with unsettled Velcro FOMO babies. It sounds simple, and it is. You create content for the person that you want to attract. You speak to their life, but most people don't do it. They try and appeal to everyone, which means that they don't really appeal to anyone. And so Sher's content started resonating because parents with these babies finally felt seen. They'd been scrolling past a lot of sleep content for months thinking none of this applies deeply to my situation. And then they found Sher. Finally, someone who gets their day-to-day reality, and her business transformed, not just revenue, like how it felt. And she told me it's nice to get to a stage now where what I'm offering is niche and people actually want it. Same expertise, same hours. She just got specific and everything changed. So here's my question. What would change in your business if you spoke directly to one specific type of parent? Here's what I want you to take away. The problem doesn't change, but the context does. Context is what makes you memorable. And in a crowded space where everyone's talking about the same things, specificity is what cuts through. Like, you don't need to shout louder. You just need to speak to the lived reality of the people that you're meant to serve. And when you do that, everything gets easier. If you want to see what happens when you get this right, watch the next video. You're gonna love this. One of my clients went from working 6 days a week, completely maxed out, to 3.5 days a week while serving more families. Okay, so that's it from me today. I hope you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear your biggest light bulb moment in the comments. And thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you in the next video.